Hi, this is Brandon Splay from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about an exercise called the Swiss bar floor press. This is a great upper body strength pressing exercise that can help develop your athlete's upper body strength and power. I like the Swiss bar floor press for two main reasons. The first one is that the Swiss bar obviously puts our hands in a neutral position, which is great for long-term shoulder health. So we're not cranking that shoulder into internal rotation with a barbell if an athlete happens to have shoulder problems or they happen to be an overhead athlete with some wear and tear. This immediately is going to make it a better and safer pressing option for your athletes. But then also the same thing with the floor press exercise in general is that when you come down, your hand is, your upper arm is going to hit the floor, and that's going to limit your range of motion that you go into. So some athletes with very long arms, for them to touch their chest, not only is their elbow way back behind them, but then they also start to have that anterior translation of the humerus into the front of their shoulder, and that can cause long-term shoulder problems as well. So not only are we limiting range of motion in a safe manner, but we also are, not internally rotated in that bad position with a straight bar. It's kept in, and so we can still train the musculature, the pecs and the triceps and the shoulders, in a safer range of motion for athletes that may need to do something overhead mainly, or if you have an athlete where they don't want a barbell bench press for whatever reason. So what you need some kind of Swiss bar. I personally prefer the Elite FTS Swiss bar. You got 3 neutral handles. You've also got a V handle here. There's other companies that make them as well, but we just have 3 or 4 of these in our facility. We have a couple other ones as well, but these are what we generally gravitate towards. But you need some kind of rack that you can obviously adjust the J hooks to get you down to floor level. So we're gonna get on the floor and underneath the bar. With this bar, I like because we can get our head right underneath this little window, and that's where I want my athlete's eyes to be. With the regular floor press, we're going to go with what happens to be basically our normal hand width. So this is a little close for me, so I go with the middle one for myself. This will depend upon your athlete. Somebody really big and broad might be a little further out. Somebody very narrow may end up being in the middle ones. Just find the one that works best for your athlete. Knuckles are going to be towards the ceiling. Feet can be out or bent. If I notice the athlete is pushing with their feet and their butt is coming up, I'll make them keep their feet out to eliminate that. If they happen to be able to keep their butt down while their feet are bent, I'm totally okay if their feet is bent, especially with an athlete. From a powerlifting perspective, I would like to see the feet stay out to definitely make sure there's no leg drive involved, but with your athletic population, that's a personal call up to you. So hands here, we're going to unrack the bar. The bar's going to come out over our face and then over our chest. We want to make sure that our shoulders are pulled together. We don't want the bar up here like this. Okay, we want to retract those shoulders down, and then we're going to have our elbows come straight down, wrists stay over our elbows. When we touch the ground, we want to remain in control and then press back up. We don't want to come down and just bottom out and lose tension and then try to press. We want to squeeze that bar with a death grip. Elbows stay tracked in. Brief stop, press. Brief stop, press. Brief stop, press. So the main emphasis that you need to coach on this is that they stay in control. They don't relax when their shoulder or their arm hits the floor. We want to briefly touch. We want to feel the meat of the triceps hit the ground, and then we're going to press explosively back up, and it's going to come back a little bit over our face. We don't want to press towards our feet too much. This is definitely a good strength and hypertrophy exercise. So generally, we're programming this for 5s and 6s for our average athlete. When we start having to really emphasize some strength, we might go into some 3s. We do program it every now and then for 8s, but generally this is one of our main strength exercises. And when I do hypertrophy work, we usually go more towards dumbbell work for that particular athlete. So this is a great underrated pressing exercise. I think if you work with athletic populations, this probably should be your bread and butter for your pressing options, in my opinion. If you have access to a Swiss bar and you can implement floor presses, we use this with all of our baseball players when they're out of season. We also use it with our populations that have too much overhead work or they have shoulder problems. We want to protect their shoulders. We have them Swiss bar floor press, and we've had really great success with it, and that allows us to save the shoulder, and we can do other hypertrophy work, like I said, with our dumbbells. So if you got any questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Have a great day.